Welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Deffinition, and this is the channel where we break down all the latest movies, new game releases, TV shows and comic books. This episode is for those who are strong with the Force and have managed to complete Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order and have questions about the game and its ending. Throughout this video, I'm going to be discussing the full storyline of the new Jedi epic and giving my thoughts on the game as we go through it. There will be heavy spoilers here, so if you haven't played through all of Fallen Order yet and don't want anything ruined, then I highly recommend that you submit to the Darkside and leave this video. With that out of the way, I just want to give a huge thank you for clicking this. Now let's get into our breakdown of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Okay, so the game picks up 5 years after Order 66 was carried out by Darth Sidious without so much as a McClunky in sight. Those who survived the Purge have scattered themselves throughout the galaxy, hiding from the long arm of the Empire. Obi-Wan fled to Tatooine, Yoda to Dagobah, and our game's protagonist, Cal Kestis, found a home on the planet Bracca as a junkyard scrapper. Cal pretty much keeps himself to himself, hiding his powers from everyone, and because of this, the ex-Padawan has evaded the Empire's gaze. However, one day he is forced to use his powers to save his friend Prauf, who almost falls to his death. Cal is desperate to maintain a low profile, but he quickly finds himself a target, and the Empire dispatches 2 Inquisitors to find the Jedi and kill him. It's an awesome introduction, and it beautifully recaptures the feeling of classic Star Wars films in a brilliant way. This opening level is like a blast from the past, and fleeing from the Empire on a ridiculously fast train got my blood pumping early on in these sections. The opening really makes you relate to Cal and see that he's just a guy trying to do the right thing. He's reluctantly shoved back into the spotlight, and watching Second Sister kill Prauf really struck a chord with me, even though it was a character that I'd only known for about half an hour. When all hope looks lost, Cal is rescued by an Ex Jedi named Cere and her pilot friend Grease, who both operate a ship known as the Mantis. Cere has closed herself off from the Force, so she needs Cal for the journey ahead, and there are also a lot of elements that come up from her past that play massively into the story as it goes on. Aboard the Mantis, they travel to Bogano, where an ancient Jedi vault is located, which is where Cal comes across a droid named BD-1. BD-1 would be the cutest thing in Star Wars right now, but unfortunately for it got beat last minute by Baby Yoda. We stand for Baby Yoda. Inside the vault, Cal discovers a message from Cere's master, Cordova, that says that he has a list of Force-sensitive children hidden somewhere and that this group could one day topple the Empire. Before he can access it though, Cal needs to pass some tests to prove that he is worthy, and whilst it's very video gamey, I actually love travelling planet to planet, levelling up and fighting all manner of men and monsters. And women too, don't forget you hit some women in this as well. Now, I did say that I loved it, but if I never had to go back to Dathomir again, I'd be happy, but on the whole, it's a really engaging game that feels like it's constantly dangling a carrot in front of you to keep you pushing forward. I have a couple of friends who also bought the game that said they found this constant trekking boring, but personally I loved unlocking shortcuts, traversing new routes that allowed me to explore it before then diving further into the area just to see how grand that it really was. Add to this the combat system of Fallen Order and you have a match made in heaven. Now, you aren't exactly Yoda, or even Baby Yoda for that matter, we stand for you, and taking on things without planning is gonna get you killed pretty quickly. It's very embarrassing being murdered by a little creature that's only half your height, but it shows just how much you have to be careful when taking all foes on. Just because you have a lightsaber doesn't mean that you have it easy, and running into groups without choosing your first target carefully can lead to you being killed in a moment's notice. There's a steep learning curve to it, and Dathomir, oh Dathomir, how you kicked the crap out of me when I thought I was just going to be going for a trot through the fields. However, once you get the hang of everything, it becomes brilliant. Each battle feels enthralling and energetic, with you constantly having to cautiously block and then let go of the button at the opportune moment in order to strike. Blocking at the right moment also allows you to parry and can send blaster bolts back at their attacker. However, you have to wait until the last second to do this, so it's a gamble that sometimes doesn't pay off. Overall though, it makes you really practice with the game, and just as Cal grows throughout the story, remastering his powers, the player does too. Cal and the group travel to Kashyyyk, encountering Saw Gerrera from Rogue One, before going to Zepho where he comes face to face with Second Sister once more. Here we get one of the first big twists, with it being revealed that the sister is Cea's Padawan named Trilla, who is a student of Darth Vader now. Under torture, Cea revealed Trilla's location, and this has led her down a dark path. It's a nice humanizing moment for the villain, and it adds a lot of weight to her choices. Many people in a similar position would probably turn to the dark side instead of facing death, and she's a memorable foe for the game. Trilla informs Cal that Cea has been in touch with the dark side, and she says that she will betray Cal just as she betrayed her. We later learn that this is why Cea cut herself off from the Force, as she didn't want to go down a dark path, no matter how much easier life would be for her. It's a great back and forth that makes you question whether Cea wants the list for the right reasons, or if this is all a big play for her. Cal is captured by a bounty hunter and forced to fight in an arena for the entertainment of a crime lord, but once more he's rescued by Grease and Cea. They return to Kashyyyk to speak to Traffel, who instructs Cal to travel to the origin tree. Now, was it just me, or did bits of this remind people of Neverending Story? Anyway, look, there he gets a message from Cordova telling him to go to Dathomir. No thanks, end the game, sell it on eBay, and yeah, that's the game over. No, we're gonna have to go, aren't we? Anyway, he's attacked by Ninth Sister, who Cal manages to defeat, and he returns to Dathomir. When he arrives there, he's confronted by Night Sister Merrin, who hates the Jedi for killing her people during the Clone Wars, and she pretty much puts up roadblock after roadblock in his way, and yeah, you're best off just going through most of this without resting, because it's not nice having the enemies respawn, especially on the hardest difficulty. I love you, Merrin, eventually, but damn, yeah, this was not fun. Cal comes face to face with another Jedi named Taryn, who says he can help Cal harness the dark power of Dathomir, and we get an awesome flashback of Order 66, in which Cal remembers his time when the clone troopers turned bad. "We were rooting for you, Cloney! We were all rooting for you!" Jarrow protected Cal from the attack, and this is how he was able to escape. Jarrow's spirit seemingly returns, and he fights with Cal, which ends up destroying the protagonist's lightsaber. Taryn wants to tempt Cal with the darkness, but he refuses and flees, travelling to Illume to get a Kyber crystal to rebuild his blade. Cal once more fights Jarrow's spirit, but this time he conquers the doubt, guilt and fear he faced in his death, and therefore he bests the dark feelings within him. Taryn can't take the hint and tries to tempt Cal again, who refuses, and this sends Taryn into a rage. He even gets double lightsabers out, which yeah, I did not enjoy that fight. Merrin joins the battle and sides with Cal after a heart-to-heart, and Taryn is finally vanquished, and Merrin ends up joining the crew of the Mantis. The group return to Bogano, and Cal finally unlocks the vault and gets the holocron with the names on it. Trilla pops up and steals this though and escapes. Cea once more resumes her position as a Jedi Master and officially makes Cal a Jedi Knight, and the group then attack the Inquisitor headquarters. Cal takes on Trilla in order to get the holocron back, and he manages to defeat her in what is an awesome boss battle. Also, is it me or did anyone else get Kylo Ren vibes from Trilla? Yeah, just something I picked up. Anyway, Cal was going to strike her down, but Cea intervenes and tries to turn her back to the light. Cea admits that she failed Trilla and that all her choices pushed her into darkness, and just as you think the two are finally going to be friends once more, we hear the unforgettable breathing noise of Darth Vader. Vader kills Trilla and pretty much redecorates the room, hurling floor panels, ceilings and Cal about the place. Running from Star Wars' most famous bad guy really gets your heart racing, and it's an awesome way to ramp up the game for its final chapter. Vader makes Cal stab himself, and Cea battles the Sith Lord, embracing the dark side of her personality in order to hold him back. The pair manage to get away and they make it back to the Mantis with the holocron. Cea releases Grease out of his contract, but he says he wants to stick around, and the crew decide what to do next with the holocron. It boils down to two things, where they can either gather the children, rebuilding the Jedi Knights and using them to fight the Empire, or they don't and they let the children live out lives where they aren't living in constant fear of the Empire hunting them down. Both have their pros and cons and are pretty tough decisions, but Cal realises that the destinies of others should not be in the hands of the group. This kind of mirrors Cea's choices, eventually leading to the downfall of Trilla, and Cal decides that their destiny should be decided by the Force. He destroys the holocron so the Empire Empire can't have it either, and this kinda ties in with the vision that Cal had earlier in the game, in which he witnessed the Jedi being slaughtered, and he knew that this prophecy had a high chance of coming true, and thus decided that the best course of action to take was to keep the Jedi separate. It's moves like this that allowed Luke to rise up and take the Empire out, and it's quite a smart storytelling motif that feels like what a true Jedi would actually do. These are protectors of the peace through and through, and Cal would rather not sacrifice lives if it's unnecessary. It's quite a mature ending, and there's actually a lot of comic books and additional Star Wars material that have dealt with a similar aesthetic. In those, the Jedi that rose up were quickly stamped down due to their lack of practice and knowledge of the Force, and there are a lot of instances where Padawan were killed early on by the forces of the Empire in order to stop them from becoming threats. Cal realised that if they were to round up this list, it would give the Emperor and Vader easy access to them, and this would wipe out all hope in the galaxy, leaving Cal and co in a far worse position. Sia and Cal are haunted by their past so much due to the trauma that comes from it, and this ending is really just about moving on. The entire game is about trying to return things to how they were, but in the end they realise that they have to go beyond this in order to progress. As Merrin said, all that awaited those children was war and death, or being turned into Inquisitors, so Cal made the right decision. What this also does is leave everything open for a sequel, which I really hope we get. But what did I think of the game overall? Well, as I'm sure you can guess, I absolutely loved it. I've craved a single player Star Wars game for so long now, and after the cancellation of 1313 in place of Battlefront, I thought we wouldn't get one for a while. I was desperate for this to be good, and I'm glad to say that it didn't disappoint. It's got everything in it that I'd hoped for from a Star Wars game, including incredible Easter eggs, the balance of comedy, drama and cuteness, and overall it knocked it out of the park in my opinion. Though it takes a while getting used to, once you're on board with this, it's a brilliant game and I can't really recommend it high enough. Fallen Order is an amazing rise of the Star Wars game, and that's why it gets a 9 out of 10. Now obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts on Fallen Order, so make sure you leave your review in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video then please give it a thumbs up, and make sure you check out our full breakdown on Baby Yoda, which will be linked at the end. We go over the best theories for the character and discuss where the Mandalorian could be going, so it's definitely worth checking out if you want to know more. If you want to come chat to me after the video then make sure you follow me on Twitter at DeffinitionYT, or head over to my Discord server which will be linked in the description below. We drop videos on there early, so if you want to see stuff before anyone else, then that's the best place to be. It's free to join and we have an awesome community, so hopefully I'll see you over there very soon. We're also giving away a free copy of the Marvel Phase 3 Part 2 box set on Blu-ray, which contains Black Panther, Infinity War, Endgame, Captain Marvel and more, and all you have to do to be in with a chance of winning is like the video, make sure that you subscribe to the channel, and leave your thoughts on Fallen Order in the comment section below. The winner is going to be chosen on the 15th of December and the set will be shipped out from then to whoever gets the prize, so best of luck to everyone who takes part. This is a channel for the hardcore players, so if that's the kind of thing you like, hit subscribe. Thanks for taking the time to watch this. I've been Deffinition, you've been the best, and I'll see you next time. Take care, peace.